All right, how's everybody doing? Hotep, hey, this is Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecturer, and writer. How's everybody doing today? All right, so I wanted to once again let you all know about our special promotion with the African History Network. We know we have a lot of African American business owners that follow us, follow our Facebook fan page, the African History Network, the African History Network. And I want to let you know that you can advertise with the African History Network to reach thousands of potential customers all across the country. All right. And you may own a bookstore, you may be an author, you may have an upcoming event that you want to promote to the African American community, a positive event. Okay. You can advertise with us. So I host the African History Network show. I've been doing that for 8 years now. The African History Network show. It's a radio show, and we put the podcast of our shows on our Blog Talk Radio channel, blogtalkradio.com/the African History Network show. And we're on 6 different podcast platforms that not I know of. There are probably some other ones, but we're on Blog Talk, we're on iTunes, we're on Castbox, we're on FM Player, TuneIn.com, the TuneIn radio app, TuneIn.com. We're there as well. I just checked a couple of days ago. They have 300 of my audio podcasts there. And we're on Acast. So we reach people all across the country, okay? And everybody share this broadcast on your Facebook page. Invite your friends to tune in. African-American business owners, post the name of your business here on the thread of your broadcast, okay? So we can give you a shout out also. All right, so this is an opportunity for you to take your African-American business to the next level. All right. So, I've taught entrepreneurship for about 9 years. My degree is in business administration with a major in marketing. I've been hosting the African History Network show for 8 years. And what we do is we put your commercial, your 60-second commercial into the audio podcast of our radio show. All right. And I do the African History Network show on Sunday nights. Some of you see the Facebook Live broadcast that I do. And when we upload our radio show, like I just did today, I uploaded Sunday night show. Sunday night we dealt with, is Donald Trump a traitor? And here's the evidence, okay? And we uploaded that to Blog Talk Radio. When I upload that, it goes to the other podcast platforms. So people all across the country listen to our podcast. Now, on Blog Talk Radio alone, we get between 4,000 to 8,000 listens per episode within about 1 to 2 weeks. That's just on Blog Talk Radio alone. All right. And then also what we do is the flyer or graphic for your business or your event or what have you. We put that in our email newsletter that goes out about 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. Okay. And we have 23,000 subscribers to that email newsletter also. So this is a great way for you to take your African-American owned business to the next level. All right. So a lot of times, as an African-American business owner, you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I reach other African-Americans? How do I reach potential customers? So this is a low cost way to do that. And you can reach people all across the country. So you may sell clothing online. You may have a boutique. And along with your brick and mortar store, you have an e-commerce presence. Okay. You may sell African garb. You may sell natural body oils. You may have a business where you do tax preparation services, all different types of things like that. If you are an African-American book author, you want to advertise with the African History Network. So we have a special promotion right now. Buy 1 month, get 1 month free. Buy 1 month, get 1 month free. For more information, email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, and we can get you locked in. We can get you started today. All right. So we only have a few more spots left because we have limited inventory. We have a few more spots left. Even if you say, if you know that you want to do it and say, well, hey, I don't have my commercial ready right now. The other thing is we'll record a commercial for you. If you don't have one, we'll record a 60-second commercial for you, no additional charge. You just put together a script or some bullet points that you want us to convey in the commercial, we'll take care of that for you. But you may say, well, look, I know I want to do this and I want to secure my spot right now, but I'm waiting on inventory to come in. So I don't want the ad to start for another week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. That's fine, because I have 2 or 3 advertisers that we're doing that for. But email us right now, customer service at africanhistorynetwork.com. Okay, and we can get you secured. Okay, we can get you taken care of. All right, so let's look at some. So African American businesses, post a name, business owners, post the name of your businesses here on the thread of the broadcast. Share this broadcast on your Facebook page, the African History Network. Okay, so we know that African American women are creating businesses at 6 times the national average. All right, 6 times the national average, and blackenterprise.com, which I've been reading for years, and that's I was reading Black Enterprise back in the 90s when I was in college and when I was in business school. You know, they have an article, Black women business owners outpace all other startups 6 times national average. Okay, and it's an excellent article. People should take a look at that. And we know that a lot of people are going to a lot of you are watching this while you're at work right now, or you just got off work, you have to go back to work tomorrow, what have you. And a lot of people, you know, I tell people when I teach entrepreneurship, don't wait till you get fired or when you quit your job or when you get downsized to start your business. Start your business while you're still working, because about 51% of all new businesses don't make a profit until their 3rd year in business, right? So you don't want to wait until you lose your job or you're downsized or what have you to start your business, and you need to extract revenue from your business, income from your business right away to sustain yourself. Okay, while you still have a steady paycheck coming in, that's when you want to start your business. Okay, because most likely you're not going to be able to pay yourself a salary until the 3rd year in business. It may be longer than that, depending upon the business, depending upon the type of overhead. Okay, so don't wait. These are some of the tips I give some of my students. Don't wait until you lose your job or you really need income to then start a business. Okay, it's just like having a child. When your child's 1 year old, your child is not going to be able to go out and get a job to bring income into the house, right? It's going to be a while before your child can generate income. The business is like that also. Okay. Okay. So let's see, who do we have here? So Nicole said, go Black women. Yeah. African-American women are creating businesses at 6 times the national average. We're going to go to that as well. African-American men, you know, we're starting businesses. We're doing it as well. And I encourage people to look at blackenterprise.com each day and get a subscription if you can to Black Enterprise magazine. Right. And they have powerful information to help you with all different types of businesses, as well as your professional career. Okay. And I'm not one to tell people, you know, I've been teaching entrepreneurship long enough. I've been studying it and studying business and economic empowerment, African history, African American history for 26 years. Okay. So I'm not new to this at all. I know that at least for the next few years, the majority of African Americans are going to be working for somebody else, primarily. I understand that. Okay, I'm not under an illusion that that there's going to be this massive shift, okay, over the next few years, and that we're going to derive the majority of our income from our businesses. It's not happening. Why? Because you have, as of 2012, you had 2.6 million African American owned businesses, and only 100,000 of them had employees. Okay, so when I teach entrepreneurship, you know, I teach the reality of it. Okay, the other thing I do is when I teach entrepreneurship, I teach the down in the trenches, hand-to-hand combat, the real life situations you're going to deal with. And this is a lot of things that are not in the textbooks. Okay, the textbooks make it sound like real glamorous, man. I'm talking about, you know, real down in the trenches, and you got to figure out how to make a trial subscription to a service that's only supposed to be only last 30 days, you know, make that last 3 months, 4 months. Or say, for instance, you have subscription to a service, you know, hypothetically say Constant Contact, right? And based upon the billing cycle of Constant Contact, if you actually know how they operate, when that bill is due, okay, say on the 21st of the month, if you actually understand how they work, you actually have another 2 weeks before they cut you off, before you actually have to pay that bill. So if you're short on paying the bill to Constant Contact on the due date, you got 2 weeks to run promotions and send out email blasts and things like that. See, I teach like the real world of entrepreneurship, okay? Not the glamour that you may see on the Shark Tank. Shark Tank is a good show to watch, but I teach like the real world. And the other thing is, when you look at the Shark Tank, I encourage people to watch the Shark Tank as well as the Profit. Shark Tank is on ABC. They also show it on, yeah, I think it's ABC. And they also show it on CNBC, the Shark Tank. And then watch The Profit with Marcus Lemonis on CNBC as well. Okay. A lot of times when you watch the Shark Tank, you have these people that have these great ideas. And the majority of the businesses, right, are white businesses. If you pay attention, a lot of these business owners have been in business 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, something like that. A lot of times the owners are not taking a salary. If you listen to their pitch, or after their pitch, right? After their pitch, when, you know, they really get into the nuts and bolts and they talk about the valuation, how'd you evaluate your business? How'd you come up with this number is worth $2.2 million, things like this. And you want to give us, you know, you're giving away this percentage for equity in the business or what have you. When you listen to them, a lot of times these owners are not even taking a salary, and they're white. Okay. And if you understand, you know, the median household net worth for a white family, I think is about $170,000 or something like that. So you have this huge wealth gap between, and for African American households, it's only about 11,000. So you have this huge wealth gap, right? So if they have these businesses and they have these great ideas, and many of them are not being able to take a salary, then how do you think that is for African Americans, who oftentimes are challenged because of lack of capital and because of lack of net worth? All right, so these are things that we have to understand. This is why being able to market your business and understand how to operate on a shoestring budget is so important, and really understand the real hand-to-hand combat when it comes to really understanding the real hand-to-hand combat when it comes to entrepreneurship. Because I've dealt with it in the real world, not just teaching in the classroom, but in the real world, having managed a business consulting company for 7 years, having managed companies where we had contracts with municipalities, with a county here in the state of Michigan, and also training contracts, educational contracts with the state of Michigan as well. Okay, so when I deal with this, man, I'm dealing with like real life sensitive situations. Okay, so who we have? So post the name of your African American owned business here on the thread of the broadcast. How's everybody doing? I want to let you know that you can advertise with the African History Network. You can take your business to the next level. If you want to, if you are an African American business owner, you want to take your business to the next level. Okay, you can advertise with us. We have a special promotion right now, and we only have a few slots left because we don't have infinite inventory when you are dealing with radio spots. Buy 1 month, get 1 month free. Okay, email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com. Customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com for more information. We can get you going today. We can get your spot secured. But I host the African History Network show. Many of you see me post the audio podcast of our shows here on our fan page, the African History Network. You see me broadcast live the African History Network show on Sunday nights. So what we do is we put your 60-second commercial that either you can record and send to us, or we can record one for you at no additional charge. We put that into our audio podcasts. Our podcasts are on 6 different podcast platforms that I know of. Okay, they are on Blog Talk Radio, because we've been on Blog Talk Radio for 8 years now. We have almost 900 audio podcasts there at Blog Talk. blogtalkradio.com/The African History Network Show. When we upload the podcast to Blog Talk, it automatically gets uploaded to Castbox, iTunes, FM Player, TuneIn.com, the TuneIn radio app, which allows you to listen to radio stations all across the country and even outside of the country, and also Acast. So we hit at least 6 different podcast platforms. We reach thousands of people on a weekly basis. And then also when I do Facebook Live broadcasts throughout the week, I take the audio of that Facebook Live broadcast, upload it to Blog Talk. It hits the other podcast platforms, and in a lot of those podcasts, we put commercials into those as well. Okay, so we have a special promotion: buy 1 month, get 1 month free. Email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com for more information, and we can get you secured today. We can get you started today. And even if it's just a situation where you say, well, look, I know I want to do this, but I don't have my commercial ready right now. I'm waiting on product to come in. Okay, we can get your spot secured today, and then you can start your marketing campaign. We can start the ads running in 1, 2, 3 weeks. Because I have one advertiser, they're going to start in about 2 months. They're waiting to get things together. Got another one, they're going to start in we got one that's going to start in about a month. Okay, so email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com. Post the name of the African American owned business here on the thread of the broadcast, and we'll give you a shout out also. And then the other thing that we do is we're going to do an interview with you on our Facebook fan page, the African History Network, to promote your business and for you to be able to show your expertise as well. Okay, and we make it topical. So if you say you own a website that deals with health and fitness, okay, so the blackhealthacademy.com is one of our advertisers, right? So when I interview them, what we'll do, we'll talk about, say, the top 5 mistakes that people make when they are trying to lose weight. Okay, the top 5 mistakes that people make when they're trying to lose weight. All right, and we make it topical, and you can position yourself also as an expert in the field. Okay, the Black Health Academy. Let's see here. Let me get the right. Okay, yeah. So post the name of the business here, and we'll come to you here in just a second. All right, so how's everybody doing? Okay, so Shalina, okay, Babies Mobile, Nicole, Rising Stars Child Care Services, interesting, okay. Dia T, African American and Native American owned. Latiwa. Now, what is your business, Dia? What exactly is your business? Let me know. Okay. Let's see here. And Enoch. Okay. Interesting. Kiana, Yana Renee Photography. Okay. Now, do you have a website address, Yana? Okay, Greg. Okay, how you doing, Greg? The Z Black Card. Yeah, zblackcard.com. Okay. Check out zblackcard.com. Yeah, because Greg has a really, really interesting website. We're going to be interviewing Greg soon. I'm going to contact you probably next week to set up your interview also, Greg. Nicole, she's in Massachusetts. Where are you? Okay. Oh, she's talking to somebody else. All right. Okay. Rob Williams has the GCC Prod Roundtable. Okay, Rob, email us. Email us, Rob, because I know you watch our broadcasts, and I know you have seen a few of them. So email us, Rob, customer service at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Okay, we may be able to help you take your business to the next level. Customer service at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. All right. So for those African American business owners who are watching, what are some of the challenges that you run into being a business owner? And is your business the primary thing that you do, or do you still work a 9 to 5? Okay. Now, there's no shame in working a 9 to 5. I'm not one of these people who calls, the 9 to 5 job working on the plantation. Let me explain something to you. I've been studying history for 26 years. I've studied slavery. I teach an online course called Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. I've read numerous slave narratives. You going to work, working 9 to 5, working overtime, getting a paycheck, getting health benefits or not getting health benefits, getting 2 weeks paid vacation, getting a lunch break, okay, getting a stock purchase plan, getting a corporate discount, all that. That is not slavery. I'm sorry. That's not. I've read slave narratives. Read that Frederick Douglass was a runaway slave. He ran away when he's about 27 or 28 years old, because Frederick Douglass didn't know his date of birth because they ain't have birth certificates for slaves. And when you read he wrote 3 autobiographies. When you read his first autobiography, he talks about how it was rare to meet a slave who knew their date of birth. Okay. So we should not disrespect our ancestors trying to equate us going to a job, whether you like your job or not, and getting a paycheck to what they were forced to do for 246 years and did not get paid. That's not slavery. You could quit your job today. They'll send you your last paycheck on Friday. You can keep your health care for 18 months. It's called COBRA. Okay. And nobody is going to come and capture you and take you back to work. Because see, if you actually understand the history of slavery, see, a lot of times this myth of slavery, they try to make it seem like running away from the plantation was an adventure. Are you crazy? That wasn't an adventure. First of all, there were slave catchers that were hired by the slave owners oftentimes to go and bring back runaway slaves. They had reward posters and wanted posters for runaway slaves. There was a bounty on their head. So when Ona Judge, who was a 24-year-old slave, ran away from George Washington's plantation, the father of the country, George Washington sent slave catchers after her, and he kept sending slave catchers after her. She was never caught. Okay. So a lot of times, we have this romanticized version of running away from slavery. The other thing is, the majority of enslaved Africans were illiterate. Okay. So even if you could run away, unless you had help, you really ain't know where you were going, because there weren't signs at the outskirts of the plantation along the road saying, freedom 50 miles away, freedom 100 miles away. Okay. Most slaves were illiterate. So even if there were signs, they couldn't follow them. So if you're in the South, you have to travel hundreds of miles up north through hostile territory with no map. And if you did have a map, if you couldn't read it, map wasn't going to do you any good. Even if you knew to follow the North Star, still you're mainly traveling at night and you don't know where you're going. Okay, so a lot of people have a romanticized version of running away from a slave plantation. Is like, no, I mean, so we should never disrespect our ancestors and compare us going to work. Even if you're working for white people, even if you hate your job, you can quit tomorrow. People ain't gonna come kill you. People are not gonna come and send slave catchers after you. It's not illegal for you to quit your job. It was illegal for your black behind to run away. Okay, so we have to understand this difference. All right, so who else do we have here? I just have to say that because I hear people trying to equate you going to work with slavery. That's some BS right there. That you telling me you've never read slave narratives. Okay, I mean, and you read the article from Washington Post, and we talked about this. We talked about this here before, which dealt with. I covered this a few weeks ago when you were really at the height of the protests behind the separation of children at the Mexican border, okay, from their parents. And this dealt with the history of America separating children from their parents. And this dealt with, and they had some slave narratives in here. And there was one slave narrative about this one male slave. He was an adult when he was interviewed, but he talked about being separated from his mother when he was 4 years old. He was sold off. And he talked about the trauma that was inflicted upon his mother. Okay. So this is, I may read this article here. Barbaric, America's cruel history of separating children from their parents. Okay. This is written by Deneen L. Brown. Deneen L. Brown. Okay. And so we should never disrespect our ancestors trying to equate you going to going to a job voluntarily to what they were forced to go through. All right, that's downright disrespectful right there. Okay, and when you do things like that, you're telling me you haven't studied our history. Okay, so Mimi, all right, Mimi Lau. Okay, now Mimi, okay, did we get you already signed up, Mimi? I know we were corresponding. What's going on? Let me know. Black older women telling me that my daughters are too young to start a business and they need to wait until they are 15. Okay, how old are your daughters? Adults and Mimi, how old are your daughters? I forgot. I know your daughters have a business. They're not 7, 8 years old. They're not too young to start a business. Adults and people underestimating what business knowledge my 10-year-old twin daughter. Okay, 10 years old. 10-year-old. Yeah, they're 10 years old. Yeah, they're not too young to start a business. You got white kids doing lemonade stands and all types of things like this, starting businesses. Okay, we'll contact you tomorrow. All right, Mimi, email me tonight. Customer service at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Greg said I'm in Flint, Michigan. From Flint, Michigan. Okay, now living in Alabama. Okay, lockdown. Yeah, we got you. We've got you secured, Greg. Yeah, I know who you are. We got you secured. She got you signed up. Shalina, Nicole. Okay, we got them. Okay, let's see. Go ahead. Those watching, post the name of your African American business here on the thread of the broadcast. All right. And once again, we have a special promotion for very limited time only. It may run one more day. That's about it because we only have a few spots left. Our special promotion, buy 1 month, get 1 month free. Okay, email us at customerservice@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, and you can advertise on our weekly radio show, the African History Network Show. You can advertise on the podcast of the show. Okay, and our podcasts are on 6 different podcast platforms that I know of. They're on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, TuneIn.com, Castbox, FM Player, and Acast. Now, Castbox, I just found out about Castbox a few months ago. I got a tweet from somebody that follows our Twitter page, the AHN show on Twitter, and they said, "Hey, I just listened to your podcast." The podcast was how lynchings were used to destroy Black business progress, or something like that. History of how lynchings were used to destroy Black businesses, something like that. And I said, okay. I said, thanks. I said, where'd you get the podcast from? Where'd you hear it? And he said, Castbox. And I'm like, what the hell is Castbox? I never heard of Castbox before. I've heard of Spotify. You know, I've heard of Stitcher, these other platforms. So he told me it's an app. So I go check out the app in my Android store. The Play Store, I downloaded. They have all these they have hundreds of podcasts there from different sources, different hosts. And Castbox is a powerful app. Download the Castbox app. It'll blow your mind. And they had like 300 of my podcasts there. Okay. So Blog Talk, I know what they do is they automatically put your podcast on these other platforms. So I'm on 6 podcast platforms that I know of. I just found out last week that TuneIn.com has 300 of my podcasts. I ain't know it. I just found out maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago about FM Player. I ain't know about FM Player. They have 300 of my podcasts there. I'm like, damn. Okay, so we're reaching people all across the country. All right, we're reaching people all across the country. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so one of our new advertisers is the Upstate Black and Afro-Caribbean Business Association, the Upstate Black and Afro-Caribbean Business Association, right? So the Upstate Black and Afro-Caribbean Business Association is a meeting place for businesses, small and large, that want to connect with businesses throughout upstate New York and those in the Caribbean. There are tons of small businesses owned by Black people throughout upstate and the Caribbean that may lack the visibility, network, and capital to expand. What better way to help each other than to come together? So the benefits they offer to their members: you can reach potential customers. They have grand openings. They provide valuable information such as market trends, company logo on the first page of on the first page, I guess, of the brochure or website. They offer workshops to help you with your business and help you grow your business. Learn ways to get funding. And you can collaborate with other businesses as well. Now, they have a special promotion right now. You can list your business for free for the first year if you sign up before September 1st, 2018. It's only $25 to renew. You can get started now. So you can visit ubacny.com, ubacny.com. And you can also call 347-688-6319, 347-688-6319, okay? And that is the Upstate Black and Afro-Caribbean Business Association. Okay, so they're actually going to start their ads in a few weeks, but I'm just giving them a plug right now because I like what they're doing. Okay, so let's post the link right here on the thread of the broadcast. All right, so they've already secured their spot. So if you look at our history, right, we have a history of these different types of associations. Okay, and we have to tap into the history of African-American business ownership as well. So you have, so this association reminds me of the, it reminds me of the Colored Merchants Association, the Colored Merchants Association. And the Colored Merchants Association was created in about 1928. And it was created by the National Business League, okay? The National Negro Business League of Montgomery, Alabama, creates the Colored Merchants Association. So the National Negro Business League was founded by Booker T. Washington in 1900, right? When we look at the Colored Merchants Association, this was a cooperative organization of African-American grocery stores and grocery store owners, all right? And we have a long history of cooperative economics also. So the purpose of the organization was to reduce the operating costs of African-American retailers through mutual support, cooperative buying, and collective marketing in a harsh market dominated by white-owned chain stores. And in the early 1900s, you have a rise of these chain stores like Woolworth, F.W. Woolworth, and the Great Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company, better known as A&P, and Sears and Roebuck, things like this. So the early 1900s, you have a rise in these white chain stores, white-owned chain stores, which brings about increased competition for African-American business owners and stores. Now, the Colored Merchants Association model was markedly successful. Associated stores reported increases in business and profits. So these are things that African-American Chamber of Commerce, the Black Chamber of Commerce in various cities should be doing as well, okay? And if you have a Black Chamber of Commerce, if you're on the board, if you run it, you can advertise with us as well. Now, the Colored Merchants Association spread to nearly 18 cities, including Chicago, Philadelphia, Nashville, Dallas, and New York City. The CMA built its national headquarters in New York City in October of 1929. Chapters were organized in cities with 10 or more stores. Now, the Colored Merchants Association members paid $5 per month per store, okay, that they owned, and were required to meet designated standards. By 1930, 253 stores were part of the Colored Merchants Association network. 253 stores, okay, and these were black groceries. These were African American owned grocery stores. Today, in this country, you have 47.4 million African Americans based upon the information that came from the Census Bureau, June 21st, 2018. You have 47.4 million African Americans. We don't own 253 grocery stores today with 47.4 million African Americans. Back at this time in 1930, there were roughly about 11 or 12 million African Americans in the country. They own 253 grocery stores. We don't own 253 grocery stores today with 47.4 million, with almost about 4 times the population. We don't own 253 grocery stores today. Now, members of the Colored Merchants Association receive support services from the association, such as intensive training in merchandising techniques, sales training, advertising, and management resources such as market analysis, inventory, and bookkeeping systems, and collection and credit procedures. All right. Check out this article from AtlantaBlackStar.com called 5 Historic Examples of Cooperative Economics, Ujamaa, okay, that advanced the Black community. 5 historic examples of cooperative economics, Ujamaa, that advanced the Black community. Now, Ujamaa is a Kiswahili word. It means cooperative economics. It's the 4th principle of Kwanzaa, okay, of the Nguzo Saba. It's the 4th principle, all right? So, and this is a fantastic article. This is from 2013, okay? AtlantaBlackStar.com. 5 historic examples of cooperative economics. But we have a history of cooperative economics. We don't understand our history, and the people's history and culture teaches them how to deal with the problems of the past, in the present, and the future to meet the needs of the community. A people's history and culture teaches them how to deal with the problems of the past, in the present, and the future to meet the needs of the community. All right. We'll post a link of this article here on the thread of the broadcast also. And then, you know, they talk about the Susu system. Okay, the Susu system, which is practiced in parts of West Africa and the Caribbean, okay? And it's an ancient version of cooperative economics. It's called Susu, S-U-S-U, and it's one of the oldest forms of microfinance in Africa. The practice is run by one of Africa's oldest financial groups, known as Susu collectors. They run their businesses from kiosks in the marketplace and act as mobile bankers, okay, or mobile bankers. Clients make low but regular deposits on a daily or weekly basis over the course of a month into a Susu account. At the end of this period, the Susu collector returns the accumulated savings to the client, okay, but keeps one day's savings as commission. Susu collectors may also provide advances to their clients or rotate the accumulated deposits, okay? Or rotate the accumulated deposits of a group between individual members, all right? Today, Susu collectors provide many West Africans who would otherwise be denied credit with access to money they need to start up small venture projects that in many cases benefit the community as a whole. In the United States, Black immigrants from the Caribbean have enjoyed one of the highest economic growth rates using a form of the Susu and leveraging this practice to establish successful credit unions. So this is in our history. We have, but the problem is we don't understand our history. Our history, for the most part, has been stripped away from us. Our history and culture has been stripped away from African Americans. We've been taught to see reality through the eyes of Europeans. And And every ethnic group in America, for the most part, they have their history and culture intact, and they use it to fight for scarce wealth, power, and resources. They use it to fight for scarce wealth, power, and resources. And this is why every ethnic group in America are the largest employers of their own people, except for African Americans. Now, I'm not knocking anybody that has a job, and if you work for white people, you work for a corporation. I'm not beating up on anybody. And if you look at other ethnic groups, you're going to find other ethnic groups working in corporate America. You'll find them as scientists and doctors and things like this, but they have a economic foundation where they own the majority of the stores in their community, and they own stores in our community. You see Koreans, you'll see Chinese, you'll see various Asians, Vietnamese, you'll see Indians from India, you'll see Arabs, Chaldeans owning a lot of the businesses in the African American community. They own the businesses in their community. But if you go, you look in the medical field, you'll see them working. You look in corporate America, you'll see them working. Okay. So they have all these bases covered. We have to understand that as well, but we have to understand our history when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to business ownership. And a lot of the great African societies that we talk about, these great African nations, so we'll talk about the kings and queens, but we won't talk about the economics of that society, because all these societies, whether you're talking about ancient Kemet, Egypt, Ethiopia, Abyssinia, Nubia, Tallahassee, okay, or Tasseti, we talk about Ghana, Songhai, Mali, things like this, Great Zimbabwe, they had economic systems. They control resources. They control gold mines and salt mines and different things like this. They control natural resources. They own land and grew, and they had agriculture, so they could feed themselves. They could sustain themselves. They have a political structure. They have an economic system. They're going to have some type of medium of exchange, usually, whether it's bartering, whether it's gold, whether it's salt, whether it's a monetary system where they actually have coins. They're going to have some type of medium of exchange as well. Okay. And a lot of these societies they're going to do trade with other nations. They'll do trade with other groups of people. And a lot of these societies have some type of African marketplace as well, where you have people who have little kiosks, little stands, businesses. There's commerce taking place. We have a history of this. This is before the transatlantic slave trade. Okay. And even after, in Africa today, you have this. You have these African marketplaces, like in Ghana, Nigeria. Okay, you'll have this. Now, Dr. W.B. Du Bois in 1935 said, quote, "There exists today a chance for blacks to organize a cooperative state within their own group by letting Negro farmers feed Negro artisans." Okay, these were the tradespeople, the craftsmen and things like this, the artisans, by letting Negro farmers feed Negro artisans, and Negro technicians guide black home industries, and black thinkers plan this integration of cooperation, while black artists dramatize and beautify the struggle. Economic independence can be achieved. To doubt that is possible. To doubt that this is possible is to doubt the essential humanity and the quality of brains of black people. Okay. Now they have the term black in parentheses, but this is who he's talking about. This is Dr. W.B. Du Bois in 1935. All right. So we have to understand this history. Okay. So post the name of your African American owned business here on the thread of the broadcast. How's everybody doing? Hey, this is Michael Imhotep, host of the African History Network show, founder of the African History Network. And we're talking some about our history and entrepreneurship, economic empowerment. We're talking about the special promotion we have right now for African American business owners. You can advertise with the African History Network. We have a special promotion, buy 1 month, get 1 month free. We'll put your 60-second commercial into the audio podcast of our radio show, the African History Network show, which is on 6 different podcast platforms. We reach thousands of people on a weekly basis. If you don't have a commercial, we can record one for you. Email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com for more information. We can get your spot secured today. We only have a few left, so this promotion will not be running much longer. Customer service at africanhistorynetwork.com. Email us and post the name of your African American owned business here on the thread of the broadcast also. All right. Visit our website, africanhistorynetwork.com. You can read all of my articles that I write. It connects you to our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep on YouTube. My DVD lectures are there also. And I also teach online classes. So we have all of our online classes are on demand. We deal with history and entrepreneurship, economic empowerment, things like that. We have a special promotion right now on the online courses. Understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa. Understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. This is a 14-hour, 7-session online course. We deal with thousands of years of history. That's on sale right now, $40, regularly $60. And then we have a 10-course online bundle pack, which includes 10 of my online courses. It's regularly $130. It's on sale $60. It includes understanding the transatlantic slave trade, great African women in history, the mothers of civilization. It includes African-American resistance in the era of Donald Trump, voter suppression, reparations on how elections have consequences, and some other courses also. Okay, so that's all on demand. Go at your own pace. You learn a lot. I'm doing a PowerPoint presentation. We have video clips, book references. It's a lot of information. Watch from around the world on your smartphone, tablet, computer. As soon as you register, you can start watching. Okay. And those are the online courses that I teach also. Okay, they're all on demand. Go at your own pace. All right. Okay, so look, guys, we're going to get out of here. Hey, be sure to email us customerservice@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Customerservice@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com for more information dealing with advertising with the African History Network. And remember, at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's correct wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. Remember, right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.